Some of that show coming on, you like?
I don't like that bullshit.
He already started.
I don't know why the hell you telling me.
Dennis Sperling. That show, mama, you know what I'm talking about.
Copy him.
Mama, that go, that man, he just talk a lot of shit. He be up late at night, tuning into all his hits. See my grandmama hate him, and my mama and my TD getting mad, posting comments like we watching real TV. Mama, that go, that man, yelling from that nigga, what? He successful attorney on the tube, be turning up. We be turning up, we turning up, yeah. We be turning up, yeah, turning up. It's that real spit, like some barbershop talk, except it's real black men that be walking with me walk. Intelligent, well versed, sometimes we might curse, well we cuss a lot, just like these lovely ladies fuss a lot. Switch it up, tell these suckers gotta pick it up, move along. Me and you ain't brothers, not the womb I'm on. Cross-examination on in the chat room. All the trolls with the disrespect, we in the back room. Huffing and you sucking up the air like a vacuum. Daddy disappeared, told you baby I'll be back soon. I just represent us cause the system can't afford it. I'm your homie, I'm your brother, sometimes a court appointed. Anointed, know you hate it, but I give you fair chosen. Just like Jesus in the house of God, kicking chairs over. Suit and tie soldier, give the cold shoulder. The hate and you talking, not a fucking stain on me. Watch your dame homie, I got that change on me. Black rich, I don't give a shit, bet your dame want me. Mama, that go, that man, he just talk a lot of shit. He be up late at night, tuning into all his hits. See my grandmama hate him.
That's my business. You ain't got a goddamn thing to do with it.
And my mama and my TD getting mad, posting comments like we watching real TV. Mama, that go, that man, he talk a lot of shit. He be up late at night, tuning into all his hits. See my grandmama hate him, and my mama and my TD getting mad, posting comments like we watching real TV. Mama, that go, that man. Mama, that go, that man. Mama, that go, that man. Yeah. Mama, that go, that man.
I want to see you win. And I put pressure on us men to understand how we did not get our masculinity training. And we've been doing our work, okay? But now it's time for you ladies to understand you're going to have to bet on us like you want us to bet on you. I talked to several men this week. I don't just get on here and talk shit. I have men I call around the world and I ask, what do you think about this concept? Level set me. Shout out to brother Dennis Sperling. Dennis, I'm not going to get, I don't want to tell people's business, but I'm going to tell you, high value men retire their women or make them come work for them. So ladies, what is it going to take for you to free yourself? Because you and I both know you're dying at these jobs. You're in a...
You understand what I'm saying? Hate me all you want to, baby. I don't mind hating me. Hate all you can. Let me go the other way. Hate all you can. Hate everything. But I'm gonna still make you look good. Black men winning. Okay? Come on, somebody type that in the chat room. Black men winning. Okay? Because that's just what's happening. We are winning.
We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. Yeah. We winning. We winning. We winning. I know they hating out here. Yeah. I know they mad. They all in their feelings. But baby, I don't care. She calling the police on me and everything. Yeah. Somebody need to get on the phone, call my attorney. Dealing with these hard-headed hoes who ain't learning. Acting all ignorant like a motherfucking menace. She better bundle up, cause bitch is about to be winner. Niggas acting timid, why you think she treat a nigga so bad? Turn her only fucking son into a killer. Can't even distinguish who the women, who the bitches. She broke my nigga, even Jesus can't fix it. Navajo nigga, got a man up in prison, but quick to tell you, get your bag up, bitch, quit it. Ever heard of Dennis? Yes sir, get your spurling, we in court early, don't be acting all girly. Keep that same energy, don't need any men. You the man, you the father, you the face of many men. Yep, many Rippleton, taking L's your whole life. While the passport bros taking off the next flight. Something thick, something feminine, rubbing on my shoulders. Be a cold day in hell, Blizzard King try to tell you. A new world is coming, bitch, you better stop sinning. See, God took Kevin, left your sorry ass with Dennis.
Somebody type of old broad in the chat room. Talking about men, you can't find them. That just means you had your chance, boo. You had your chance, and your chance has passed you by. Your husband done went on to the great beyond. He's not there looking for you no more. You done hit one wall. Somebody type one wall in the chat room. You done hit two walls. Somebody say 3 walls. Yeah.
Some of that show coming.
What's up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Dennis Sterling, also known as Uncle D, also known as the Blizzard King. We're going to continue with this ongoing discussion that we've been having. But first, I'd like to welcome everybody in the chat room. Make sure you check in. Let me know where you're checking in from. All my members, man, big shout out to all my members, man. Very little. Mercer Panama 43TX, J-Row 49, International Quiet Storm, Urban Eagle, Melanated FTM, man, welcome. Urban Eagle, David Dice, welcome. Make sure when you come in, you check in. All my members, let me know that you're in here if you're watching right now. Everybody who has joined the membership over the past 2 or 3 weeks, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get that membership popping. Let's get that membership up. How's everybody doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are around the nation and around the world. Big shout out to my favorite cities, Chicago, New York, Detroit, all my folks in ATL, North Carolina. Man, put yourself on the map. Oakland, Los Angeles, man, all the East Coast cities, Miami. I know we deep. Chicago supports me heavy. And so does New York, man. So shout out to all my folks on the East Coast, man. And much love to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody. I hope y'all having a great day. Hope it's prosperous. For you guys who don't know, I typically do broadcasts catered towards Black men. But for the most part, at this point, you know, a lot of our issues are beginning to converge. And, you know, especially when it comes to dealing with these modern women, modern females in Western countries. And yeah, of course, big shout out to Texas, Pennsylvania, Spokane, Washington. The chat room is open. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should go ahead and subscribe, because sometimes I'll turn off your ability to comment and you won't be able to comment. You'll be sitting there wondering why I can't say nothing and this man is saying all this stuff. And, you know, you'll feel left out. So all you got to do is subscribe. That doesn't cost you anything. But other than that, looking forward to my memberships. I hope you all are enjoying that new video footage that's going up on the membership side. They get exclusives over there on the membership. So shout out to the memberships. But anyway, as I've said before, and I'll say this again, I typically didn't give relationship advice. And the reason that I don't give it relationship advice is just because, people like what they like, and who am I here to tell you what you should like, and the bumps and bruises along the way are just what goes along with that goes with the territory. But what I found is there are a lot of people on the internet giving relationship advice, but they don't have the outcomes that I have. Somebody type outcomes in the chat room. Somebody type outcomes in the chat room. Okay. Somebody type outcomes in the chat room. They don't have the outcomes that I have. Neither do they have the life. They don't have the family life. They don't have the business life. They don't. They're children. They just don't have those outcomes. And so what I've decided to do is share my experience and my wisdom. And, so you guys can benefit from it. There's no need for me to be selfish. I'm going to give you all the same information that I would give my sons. And we're going to face some harsh truths here. You see, what we're going to talk about tonight is something that I'd like to call reestablishing or reimposing beauty standards on modern women. Okay. So, and it is what it sounds like. It is definitely going to be controversial because, for the most part, people try to tell you what you should like. And as free men, somebody type free men in the chat room. As free men, you're entitled to like what you like, and you're entitled to express that. And that is your freedom of choice. Okay. And so let's go ahead and commence this conversation. So again, welcome ladies, welcome gentlemen to this, I believe, very important conversation. And it often sparks a debate. What we're witnessing right now is a backlash against those who attempt to impose standards of beauty or lack thereof on others, specifically men. Okay. And men, like anyone else, have their preferences, and they should not feel compelled to conceal or alter their perceptions of beauty to conform to societal pressures. And the choice of a partner, a woman, someone who you're going to share her body and she's going to share yours, you're going to date with her, you're going to marry her, that's a deeply personal and intimate decision. It should not be sacrificed to appease those who take offense at individuals' expression of what they find beautiful in a woman. In essence, the principle of his body, his choice, should extend to personal preferences in matters of attraction and relationships, allowing individuals to exercise their autonomy and make choices that align with their own desires and values. That's what's necessary. So what we're going to do, fellas, is we're going to reimpose beauty standards on modern women. And this involves reintroducing traditional notions of beauty that may have, evolved over time, according to the people who want you to see beauty as other than what you see it as. Okay? And the way they do that is this process is often, it entails exerting pressure on women to conform to specific ideals of attractiveness, including such as body shape, age, and physical appearance. So yeah, I'm gonna hit them hard. You guys are going to start reimposing beauty standards on women. Okay? That's what we're doing moving forward. We're gonna put pressure on them. Okay? That includes what? Body, shape, age, and physical appearance. Because at this point, the bonnet brigade will give you anything and force feed it down you and make you accept it. So this reflects a perpetuation of societal expectations that women will have to adhere to specifically conventional beauty norms. And, they might have some self-esteem issues. They might have some body dissatisfaction. And that's what pressure does. Either it makes pressure builds diamonds and it also bursts pipes. But you shouldn't have to sacrifice what you like and what you want and what you're attracted to as men just to try to spare somebody else's feelings. So again, as men, we don't have to allow them, or we don't have to conform to these redefined beauty standards. Okay? While the mainstream aims for more inclusive and diverse approach, right? They want to acknowledge the unique qualities that make each person beautiful beyond what they consider superficial criteria. It's essential for you men to recognize that you have the right to enjoy and express your preferences without facing ridicule. And while it may seem harsh, we can't ignore that both men and women engage in rating systems for men and women based on their perceived beauty. And this perception of beauty is intricately linked to physical fitness, fertility, and youth. And today we're going to delve into the origins and factors that underline this rating system. And let's make one thing clear from the start. Everyone is entitled to their preferences, and looks undoubtedly count. Okay? Physical appearance plays a significant role. And what I plan to do is aim and provide an academic style, understanding of why these preferences exist. Now, who's going to be the first one to contribute to the super chat so I can read it off so we can get started? Who's going to be the first one to contribute to the super chat? I want 20 super chats over the time period we're doing this, but who's going to be the first? Y'all let me know, okay? Because until we get that popping, we can't go off to the races. So the super chat needs to be popping, okay? Let's see that happen. No Cash App. Is the super chat even working? Did YouTube give me the what for? Huh? Is that what's going on? Is that why y'all haven't got in there? We got 120 people up in here. Y'all need to pay me for my time. There we go. International Quiet Storm. Thank you so much, fam. Appreciate that. So all we need is 19 more super chats, but before the end of the broadcast. But that's okay. We are going to proceed with this conversation. Thank you, brother, for setting it off. I appreciate you, International. And then my man, Mark, the freelancer. So thank you guys for showing your appreciation for your time. Somebody in the chat room, do me a favor. Somebody in the chat room type 1 to 10, okay? Somebody in the chat room type on a scale of 1 to 10. This is the rating system. We've heard it before. Our good friend Kevin Samuels used to say all the time, what? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and don't use 7. Isn't that what he said? Shout out to the late, great Kevin Samuels. Isn't that what he said? Now, there's a reason why he wouldn't let the ladies use 7. Because if they were allowed to use 7, then that's kind of the murky area. Oh, I'm a 7. So they're not keeping it real with themselves or anybody else. All right? So what is that scale? And I'm going to give you a breakdown of that scale. The breakdown is as follows. If a woman is a 10, she's not human. That's not even humanly possible. Okay? A 9, that's a very fit model or actress who's won an award of some sort based purely on looks. It's hard to be a regular person if you look like this because you will get endorsements, offers, one way or the other. 8, the most beautiful girl in your office, classroom, etc. As long as there's a group of 100 or more and that person is usually mentioned as beautiful, she's most likely an 8. The reason she is still in your group is because she's not a 9. A girl like this usually has experience being photographed and her images used in small productions. A 7, this is the hot girl you met in the gym. This comprises most of the pretty girls you've met and talked to. You'll turn your head when you see her in public. And sometimes you might think they're out of your league. Okay, now what is a 6? This is a cute girl. This could be a 7 with weight problems. Somebody type big girl in the chat room. Somebody type wide back in the chat room. Okay, a 6 could be a 7 if she just lost some weight. She blends in, but if you look at her long enough, you notice she has attractive features. The key is you'll only find something attractive about her if you make it a point to look for it. That's a 7. Now, what is average? Average, this is a girl where your friends would say, "Ah, man, she all right, she's okay." While a 6 would make him say, "Oh, she's kind of cute." A 5 is this girl never gets noticed for her looks, but her friends would always say, "You look great, don't worry." But nope, she's average. Okay? And the proof in that is that nobody will go out of their way to introduce themselves. That's average. Now, a 4. This is a big part of the population. See, we think average means that, that's the most of them. No, actually, the 4s are more popular. You look on your social media feed, those selfies you don't feel like giving a like, that's a 4. Now, 3, 2s, and 1s, well, that's the girl you're going to call ugly. I know, harsh language. That's the girl you're going to call ugly. Mean people will call her ugly. But the silver lining is the girl can still be attractive with the right personality. So that's the scale of 1 to 10. I know nobody's broken it down to you like that, but we're approaching this from a scientific perspective. Now, again, let's get some examples. But before we do, big shout out to all my guys, man, who came through International Quiet Storm, Mark the Freelancer, Urban Eagle, 43TX, Support Black Male Media, The Shareholder, Zay Story Show. He said, happy to be here, Uncle D, peace and blessings. Thank you so much. Simple Shit TV, man, Support Black Male Media. That's my guy. I need you to give me a call tomorrow, man. We need to talk. I need you to call my office. And of course, Jerome Payne, The Wall Cometh. Yeah, all right. So we need 12 more super chats before this broadcast is over. And then I will have met my threshold. That's pretty dope if y'all can get me there. But let's go ahead and continue. Okay. Now, again, fellas, this is not about hurting feelings. This is about me forcing you to keep it real with yourselves. Because for the most part, you are being brainwashed. I can share something with you that you probably may or may not want to admit. If I tell you that black women have pretty much been the same as they always have been in this country, but the reason that you're not willing to deal with them anymore is because there's an obesity problem and you don't find them attractive as you used to, so it's just the juice is not worth the squeeze. Basically, what I'm telling you is the rise of this gender war has occurred because the women that our forefathers were willing to tolerate were slender and good looking, even though they was full of crap sometimes. But these modern women are just too darn big. And on top of that, they come with tattoos and baby daddies. So you don't want to deal with it. What if I tell you that if black women, pound for pound, if they lost weight, okay, and the majority of them were under the obesity rate, you would be willing to deal with them. You would suck it up and deal with them because like, well, at least she fine. And that a fine woman, a woman who's beautiful, it hides a whole lot of imperfections. You know what I'm telling you is the truth. Just think about that. Now, so off that side note, in the discussion, what we're going to do today is we're going to break down 1 through 10 in a system, you know, the rating system, okay, for women. Now, again, as I said, a perfect 10, that's often considered not humanly possible, and it represents a rare level of beauty that can leave a lasting impact. I would think, if we want to look at a historical figure, a perfect 10 in terms of beauty that would be beyond the realm of ordinary human attractiveness is Cleopatra VII. Okay? All right, Cleopatra VII of Egypt. She was born in 69 BC, and historically she's seen as a perfect 10. Right? And her beauty transcends boundaries of ordinary human attractiveness. Her legendary allure was accompanied by intelligence, charisma, and political savvy. And she was renowned for being captivating, for her captivating presence. Okay, Cleopatra's features were exquisite, particularly her mesmerizing eyes, and they were celebrated by contemporaries and historians alike. She leveraged her body, her wit, her charm to captivate two of the most powerful Roman leaders, number one, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. And beyond romance, Cleopatra's profound impact on history arose from her political acumen, which she used to form alliances and help preserve Egypt's independence. And it helped consolidate her authority. Remember, she had Julius Caesar come down and kill her half brother. And that's how she got rid of him. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind. Okay? So her enduring legend is she was extraordinarily beautiful. And, you know, her influence on women remains indelible, and she's made an indelible mark on history. Okay? So she would be considered a 10. Now, the 9s. All right? What is a 9? This is an individual who possesses striking, beautiful, perhaps even professional models or actresses who've garnered recognition for their looks. What are some examples? Well, historically, some would say a Marilyn Monroe. All right? Marilyn Monroe, her beauty is legendary. She's characterized by her blonde hair, her hourglass figure, her sultry smile. And she basically captured a global audience. So she was a 9 on a global scale. I'm not talking about no Atlanta 9. I'm not talking about an Alabama 9. I'm talking about an international 9. Okay? So she had it, you know, she had it going in the 1950s. You know, her movies, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Some Like It Hot. Even now she has enduring fames. When people think of Hollywood beauties, they look at her. Now, if it, you know, this is a 9, right? Now, if you want to flip the script and look at Black women or women of color, we can look at Dorothy Dandridge. She definitely was a 9, okay? She was a 9. She wasn't a trailblazer, all right? She was a trailblazer because she was one of the first Black women who were actresses who were nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress. But she was also renowned for her beauty and her talent. And her contributions to Hollywood during the 1950s made her an iconic figure in entertainment industry. And this is during the time when, you know, you had basically a modern day, an apartheid system in the United States and in Hollywood. So think about that. If you out here telling your woman she's a 9 or a 10 and she doesn't look like Dorothy Dandridge, then, you know, she's not a 9 or a 10. You see what I'm saying? On an international scale, she's an Alabama 9. You understand what I'm saying? So another person that you all might have grown up looking at, remember Halle Berry? She's widely recognized for her beauty, her talent, and her historic Academy Award solidified her status as a beauty icon. She's a 9, okay? So these are 9s. These are examples of 9s, all right? So I'm trying to help you fellas get your barometer straight. And this is not based on what I'm saying. I did a lot of studies and a lot of empirical studies and ran this through a whole bunch of databases to come up with what people determine as a collective what a 9 is. You might be entitled to your own preferences, but for the purpose of this conversation, okay, people around the world have to agree with what you determine to be beautiful. And this is what they determine. Dorothy Dandridge is a 9, Halle Berry is a 9, Marilyn Monroe is a 9, and being a 10 is inhuman and not possible. And the only person that reached that point was Cleopatra. Now, let's get on down to the 8s. Somebody type 8 out of 10 in the chat room. Shout out to Boris Barracuda. All we need is 11 more super chats. We talking about an 8, and this is the most beautiful among her peers. She's the one that stands out in a room of 100 people, okay? And she may have experienced professional photography and endorsements and such, okay? She's the girl in the office, in the classroom, at the university. She's usually mentioned as being one of the most beautiful. In this situation, we're looking at somebody from his history. We're looking at the British actress Audrey Hepburn. If we're talking about Black women, we're looking at Lena Horne. Okay, she was celebrated for her elegance, her beauty, in addition, her remarkable career as a singer, actress, and civil rights actress. She played a pivotal role in breaking barriers in the entertainment industry. And she used her platform to advocate for racial equality. Shout out to my man, Your Excellence. Thank you so much, bro. But the Blizzard winner is here. Thank you so mad love, Uncle. I appreciate y'all, man. Now, what's another lady that we know? The young lady Zendaya. She played in Spider-Man and another couple of movies, man. She's a contemporary actress or singer that has gained fame for both talent and stunning beauty. She serves as a role model for young women and as far as beauty is concerned. And she's made a significant impact in the entertainment industry, okay? Now, Beyonce. Somebody type Beyonce. Now, Beyonce was a hot thing back when I was young, and she's often considered a high-ranking figure in terms of physical attractiveness. Now, of course, she's like 40-something now, so she's hit a couple of walls, but, you know, that's Jay-Z's woman, you know, but many people still admire her for her beauty, her charisma, her stage presence. And back in the day, she was described as a 9 or 10 by those who found her exceptionally beautiful. And then you also got Kelly Rowland. And like Beyonce, she's a talented artist. She's been recognized for her beauty. She's also considered attractive by many. And she could be ranked as an 8 or a 9. Okay, so, you know, that's where they are. You see what I mean? I would say Beyonce is probably an 8 or a 9. I think I said 9 or 10 before. Beyonce is probably an 8 or a 9. Kelly Rowland is probably an 8 or a 9. I know my friend Kevin Samuels used to say that in his opinion, Kelly Rowland was a 9 and Beyonce was 8. I think they both are about an 8 or a 9 based on traditional standards of beauty. Again, this may be hurting somebody's feelings because I know there's this girl in Alabama, Mississippi somewhere that swear up and down she a 10, okay? And you can't tell her other than that. But what we're talking about, we're not talking to somebody type Alabama 10 in the chat room. Okay, somebody type Mississippi 8 in the chat room. Okay, all right, come on now, come on. Somebody type South Carolina 7 in the chat room. Come on, okay, come on, type it in. That's not the same as an international 10. Okay, it's not the same. An Alabama 10 is not the same as an international 10. You're competing on an international scale, and it is time for you men to stop believing the hype and let's go ahead and figure out what the rest of the men around the world think so we can be on that same page. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. I'm going to say some stuff that's going to make y'all mad. But I want to finish with this scale first. So we went through 10s, we went through 9s, we went through 8s. Now we on the 7, okay? Now this is the hot girl at the gym. Okay, she's the most pretty girl you met and talked to. You'll turn your head when you see her in public. You understand? Sometimes you might think she out of her league. You understand? She's the type of attractive woman that we come across in everyday life, the ones that catch your eye in public. Who are we looking at? We're looking at a Grace Kelly. All right. She's an American actress, and she went on to become Princess Grace of Monaco. She's a 7 in terms of attractiveness. An attractive individual you encounter every day. She's known for her classic, understated elegance, her natural charm, her radiance. And that's what sets her apart in public spaces. All right. Somebody else that might be like that. Naomi Campbell. And I know y'all like, but she was a supermodel. Yeah. And she's known for her. Look, she's known for her striking beauty, and her supermodel status. And while she's an iconic figure in fashion and industry, her recognition for beauty primarily stems from the fact that she was a model. So she's a 7. And a 7 is pretty darn good. Okay? And that's why Kevin never wanted women to use 7, because you're not a Naomi Campbell. All right? Now, what's up next? The next up, we're going to talk about a 6. This is an international 6. Okay? This is the girl you find cute. This could be a 7, but remember, she's a little too chunky. She blends in, but you look at her long enough and you would notice she's attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you kind of cute, right? You see? You'll find something attractive about her. Something to look at. Again, she might initially blend in, but if you look closer, you can see it ain't gonna be love at first sight. It's some attractiveness when you get up on her. Who is somebody like this? You're looking at Josephine Baker as a woman of color. Josephine Baker. All right. Who else? You guys who don't know Josephine Baker, she was a Black American woman. She was a singer. She was a dancer. She was an actress. She had what you would call an unconventional beauty. It didn't really conform to traditional standards, right? But she did have this captivating allure through her expressive eyes and charismatic stage presence. And it made her a sensation in the 1920s. And she challenged beauty norms. And mind you, this is back during segregation. Shout out to my man. All we need is 7 more super chats before we over, and that'll be cool. Okay. So that's Josephine Baker. That's a 6. Look, Lupita Nyong'o. She's a woman born to Kenyan parents in Mexico. So she's technically Kenyan Mexican. And this actress, she's an Academy Award winner. She's initially unconventional by Hollywood standards. Her radiant skin, her dark, beautiful skin, her captivating eyes, her elegant presence, undeniably attractive upon closer examination. You understand me? That's a 6. Above average. Not Naomi Campbell beauty, but definitely above average. Now, some of y'all might disagree with what I'm about to say next. But I'm going to say Michelle Obama is somewhere, but she's probably a 6. Now some of y'all might say no, but some of y'all might say she higher. I'm saying she's primarily known for her intelligence, her grace, her contributions to society as First Lady of the United States. And while attractiveness is subjective, she's often admired for her elegance and style. Now, people may rank her anywhere from 5 to 7, okay? But based on, and that's based on traditional standards, but her impact and her influence go beyond her physical appearance. So I'm gonna give her a 6. You understand? Somebody saying 5 at most. I'm giving her a 6. I'm giving her this, I'm giving some, y'all cold, man. Y'all cold, man. That's the First Lady. That's the first Black First Lady. Y'all not gonna sit up here and tell me she's a 4. She's a first. The woman was elegant. You understand? Y'all, man, I'm moving on. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the 5s. Y'all cold-blooded. Y'all some cold cats. Oh, man. So let's talk about the 5s. All right. So we went through 1, we went through the 10s, the 9s, the 8s, the 7s, the 6s, the 5s. All right. These, what we're doing is, fellas, I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you a measuring stick. So when you see a woman out there and she doesn't conform to these standards of beauty, then you'll be able to compare that, and so you don't get confused. In other words, so they can't keep imposing these shaming tactics on you, brothers, and making you think you like something that you know you're not attracted to. Now, what is a 5? The 5 represents the average category. They go unnoticed, okay? They're definitely not noticed for their looks, okay? But they deserve recognition, all right? Again, we're talking about an international 5. So what do I mean by that? I mean, if you go down to the Dominican Republic, a woman in the DR who's surrounded by all those beautiful women might consider herself more of a 5 while there. But then when she moves to the United States, because there's such a deficit of good-looking women, her rank automatically bumps up to a 7 or an 8. You see? I'm just trying to help y'all out. That's why when brothers leave the US and they go places like Brazil, the average women in those countries, Brazil, Colombia, in your mind, based on your American ranking system, based on what you've seen as an Alabama 5, you like, this is way more beautiful than that Alabama 5 I just left. And so you see a Dominican 5, and you like, nah, that got to be an 8 or a 9. You see, if that was in Alabama, that'd be a 9 or a 10. That'd be off the charts. You see? Because see, these girls, when you go down there to the Dominican Republic or Colombia, the dudes down there be like, well, you know, she all right. You see? She never gets noticed down there. Okay? Nobody really notices them down there because they're average down there. But here is something different. So that's why I'm trying to help you guys realign your sights so you can begin to understand what's actually average, what's above average, and what's below average. Now, a contemporary woman of color exemplifying this description, someone who would go unnoticed for her looks, Viola Davis. Somebody type Viola Davis in the chat room. She's an African-American actress who's received critical acclaim and multiple awards for her performances. And with Viola Davis, we emphasize talent and substance over conventional beauty standards in Hollywood. Viola Davis is the typical Black American woman as far as looks. I think we can agree on that. Okay, Viola Davis. That's it. Okay? That's pretty typical. Now, a 4, this is a big part of the population. Look at your social media feed. Not right now, when you get off. Look at your social media feed. Those selfies of women that you don't feel like liking, that's a 4. Okay? And 4s encompass a substantial portion of the population. Historically, who would a 4 be? That'll be somebody like Stacey Abrams. Y'all remember Stacey Abrams? Y'all remember Stacey Abrams? Stacey Abrams, that's a 4. All right? She's she's an African-American politician. She's a lawyer and a voting rights activist. And her focus on advocacy and leadership in political matter, it transcends traditional beauty considerations, emphasizing a substance and societal impact over appearance. But yeah, that's a 4. Now, what about a 3, a 2, and a 1? Well, look, these are women that you would consider ugly, fellas. These are women that you would consider ugly. Women that you would consider not good looking at all. Okay? If we want to look throughout history, you can look at Sojourner Truth. You see what I'm saying? She was an abolitionist. She was a women's rights activist in the 19th century. But she definitely wasn't what we would consider, she didn't conform to conventional beauty standards. But it was her powerful presence, her eloquence, her unwavering commitment to social justice that made her highly respected and admired. You see? Now, a modern day woman who's somewhere between a 3 and a 1, somebody type Lizzo in the chat room. Somebody type Wideback. Somebody type Melissa Jefferson in the chat room. Somebody type Lizzo. Can we all agree that Lizzo is somewhere between 3 and 1? Can we agree? On an international scale, fellas, on an international scale. Some of y'all like, no, she ranked higher than that. Maybe in Alabama. Maybe in Alabama, she's a 5 or a 6. Maybe in Alabama, she's a 4. But on an international scale, with Cleopatra being a 10, and people and women like Dorothy Dandridge and Halle Berry being a 9, all right, with women like Lena Horne and Zendaya and Beyonce and Kelly Rowland being 8s, okay, Naomi Campbell being a 7, a 6 being Lupita Nyong'o and Josephine Baker. Lizzo is not a 4, okay? Viola Davis is definitely a better looking woman than Lizzo, okay? Doggone it. So let's go on, put her where she belongs. All right, Lizzo's round about a 3. And we subtracting, if she lost some weight, we might be able to get up to a 4 or 5. Hell, she might be darn near cute if we got up there. But as it is right now, okay, and the only reason y'all saying that is because y'all were influenced by this, vibrant, outstanding policy and this body positivity thing. Her self-love thing, right? She can love herself all she want to. She can have all the confidence and charisma she want to. That does not mean that you find her physically attractive. Shout out to Bella Rings and shout out to King. Thank you. So why are you putting accolades, achievements, and other things that don't matter and look? Because we not just talking about looks, man. Look, what makes a woman a 10? You can't just isolate a woman to physical beauty. Okay, yeah, you have some women who are just so physically beautiful, like a Cleopatra Dam. But she wouldn't be a 10 if she looked like that and she was a crackhead, right? No, it's some other attributes. Marilyn Monroe got a cute face. But if she was a big old girl, you wouldn't rank her as a 9, and the same thing for Dorothy Dandridge. These women were beautiful. Halle Berry, this is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. I'm trying to, like when you out on the range, you got to you got to align your sights before we can have this conversation. We need to be speaking the same language. Lizzo is on an international scale. She is a 3, a 1 to a 3 on an international scale. We're talking about the international scale, fellas, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. Okay? Stop lying to yourselves. You letting that body positivity thing get hold of you. All right? Now, before we go any deeper, I want to approach this from various academic angles because I don't want to just give y'all opinions. I want to give you references and reasons that you can find in the academy for why you see things the way you see them and why it's perfectly acceptable for you to be attracted to what you're attracted to. We're going to explore various academic angles, and we're going to start with the psychological perspective. Attractiveness ratings are influenced by factors such as symmetry and perceived health and youthfulness. And these traits are thought to be linked to evolutionary preferences for fertility and health. Somebody type fertility and health in the chat room. Fertility and health in the chat room. Symmetry, for example. Symmetry is seen as a sign of genetic health, while youthfulness is associated with fertility. What I'm explaining y'all is if you got somebody and one side of their face droop, they got one eye up here and one eye down there, they're asymmetrical, and that looks like a genetic defect. You understand? So you're not gonna be as attracted to people who are a little lopsided in the face. You're just not. That's an evolutionary preference. Youthfulness, that's associated with fertility. Something about our psychology tells us I can't have a baby with an older woman with gray hairs and whatnot. Can't do it. It's real simple. You see? Sociologically speaking, we'll delve into how cultural standards and media portrayals of body shape our perceptions. Beauty ideals across societies and historical periods are often influenced by historical, economic, and social factors. And media presentations, they play a crucial role in defining dissemination of ideals. But see, there's still just a baseline there that we can't get away from. And that has a lot to do with the evolutionary perspective, which suggests that certain physical traits have been preferred due to their association with health and reproductive capability. And you can't get away from it. And that's, again, symmetry, clear skin, okay? That signals good health, good genes, and the ability to reproduce healthy offspring. The other thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna talk to y'all in detail about men's dating preferences around the world, which reflect this scale that I'm talking about. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. There's no way a 50-year-old woman can be a 10. Let me run that back by to you. There's no way a woman who's hit that many walls that hard can be a 10, because beauty is associated with youth. I know y'all don't like it. And I look, if I'm gonna run all the simp up at you tonight, baby. We're gonna get all the simp out of you. We're gonna flush you clean. We're gonna flush all that body positivity. It is okay to speak the truth on this page and speak on what you like. And I'm gonna explain to you in a minute that most of the men around the world, what do I mean by most of the men around the world see the same thing? They did polls. Matter of fact, they analyzed dating preferences of women. Women up to 50 years old, and they show a tendency towards men of a similar age with a slight adjustment over the years. What does that mean? A woman of 50, she wants a man in his 50s that's just a little bit older. That's her preference. We don't knock that, do we? There's nothing wrong with that, right? That's what they like, right? Think about this. I want you to think about this. Women up to 50 show a tendency towards partners of a similar age with a slight adjustment over the years. So what is that? So what's the inverse of that? You would think that men up to 50 would show a tendency towards partners of a similar age with a slight adjustment below their years. So basically what I'm saying, women want men who are a little bit older than them. Men should want women who are a little younger than them, but generally the same age. But that's not how men think. And like I tell the brothers who come to my father seminars, men/boys, men, we are not merely women with penises. We're wired differently. So we don't think like that. In fact, the pattern drawn from extensive data illustrates a contrast in the gender perspectives on age and attractiveness. Notably, with men, there's a consistency and a preference for women in their early 20s across the board. Across the board. Millions and millions of men, over 10 million, I think it was Cupid.com or something tested this. Men of all ages across the board around the world, different cultures, different religions, different languages, exposed to the media, not exposed to the media, they all prefer women in their early 20s, specifically from the age of 20 to 23. And what this demonstrates is an unchanging benchmark of attractiveness across a man's lifespan that transcends the world. I know that just hit you in the throat, right? Yeah. So let me flip that for you guys. Basically what I'm saying is men prefer women who are between 20 and 23, and that's all ages. And the article is from U Beauty, and it discusses a study revealing that men of all ages from their 20s to their 50s prefer women in their early 20s, specifically from 20 to 23. And this remains consistent across different male groups around the world, indicating a societal trend where the ideal age of women's attractiveness is set in their very early 20s, period. So what does that mean? That means if you sitting up here telling me that you as a 40-year-old man are attracted to a woman, the women you are most attracted to are in their 30s, you're lying to yourself. Either you're lying to yourself or you're an outlier. What does that mean? Outlier, somebody type weird. If you're a 40-year-old man, if you're a 20-year-old man, if you're a 30-year-old man, if you're a 40-year-old, if you're a 50-year-old man, and you're telling people that you're attracted to women in their 30s and 40s, then either you're lying to yourself, you've been brainwashed, or you're a weirdo. Because the rest of the 4 billion men on the planet, when given the test, say they prefer women in their 20s, from 20 to 23. That's what the rest of the men on Earth say. Okay? Now, you don't have to like me for saying it. I don't really care if you do, if you don't. I don't care if you like it or not. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to hurt your feelings some more since y'all mad at me. What you mean, Uncle D? Yeah, you're a weirdo. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, but you're an outlier. Here's the darn study right here from 2015. And it says it right here. All men from these, look here, okay? All men from those in their 20s to those who are 50 want to date a woman in her early 20s. The most commonly chosen ages are 20 to 23. For almost every year in his 30s, a man is almost attracted to a 20-year-old woman. And a 50-year-old man is really gunning for a 22-year-old. This is what they're saying. This is the first study. A woman is at her best when she's in her very early 20s period. Okay, that's it. You don't have to like me for pointing out the fact that that's what the rest of the men around the world are saying. You don't have to like it, but that's it. Nobody is calling these 23-year-old women baby. They're saying those are the type of women that they're most attracted to. Now, whether or not you decide to date a woman who's older because you want to conform with what society said, don't lie to yourself. That's all I'm asking you to do. And if you are lying to yourself, okay, now the lie, now it's open. You see what I'm saying? Period. You trying to appease who? Okay? Recognize that you are subjected to this matriarchal society who wants to impose their will on you. What did I just say up here earlier? Women up to 50 years old tend to want a partner who's of the similar age. That don't mean you as a man want that. They don't want you just, why is it that we treat men in this society like they are women with penises and we're different? I'm just saying, man, you know, and you can fight with biology all you want to, but you see what these passport bros are doing, don't you? Sat up there and lied to you and said, girl, you fine at 35. And next thing you know, he done went off to Colombia and got him a 20-year-old. You understand me? See, you can, You can lie to me. You can argue me down, but you can't argue with them passport bros, can you? When presented with the opportunity to have what they want, look what men go get. When presented with the opportunity to have just what they want, look what men choose. That's all I'm saying. Women prefer partners around their age. They like that. But there's a disconnect between men's expectations of attractiveness and women's preferences. There's just a difference. Just like when you present women with the opportunity to enter into STEM fields, most of them don't. And this is an important point, so let me recap this for you. Women up to the age of 50 prefer men close to their age with preferences for slightly adjusting over the time. In other words, if she's 50, she want a man who about 52, 53. If she 40, she want a man who about 41, 42. If she 30, she want a man about 32, 33. But that 30-year-old want a 20 to 23-year-old. That 40-year-old want a 20 to 23-year-old. That 50-year-old wants a 20 to 23-year-old. Don't get mad. It's biology. It's evolutionary. It's psychology. It's sociology. And this data is based on millions of dating preferences indicating a desire for age similar partners. This is what the women say. Now, it's easy to believe that. That don't offend nobody. That doesn't make women mad. Okay? That doesn't make them mad. Men's attractiveness, that's what makes women mad. Men's attractiveness to women peak at age 40, according to the data interpretation. The analysis indicated that as a woman aged, their preferences evolved to accommodate men's aging. Men don't accommodate women aging. Men consistently prefer women in their early 20s, regardless of their own age. There's something called Wooderson's Law. Have y'all heard that? Wooderson's Law. Somebody type Wooderson's Law in the chat room. Wooderson's Law in the chat room. I'll type it in there for you. Wooderson's Law. Okay? What this basically is saying is, well, I don't want to get off into that. I'd have to, I'd have to go deep into that, but I guess I should. So let me pull it up for you so I can read it for you. Please, hold on. What this is it's not well known, and it's not widely recognized. Okay, it's not even commonly used. Okay, but it basically stands for the principle that men's appetite or men's sexual preferences remain constant throughout aging. And what I would challenge you to believe is, or what I would challenge you to recognize, is that even young boys prefer women from the age of boys under the age of 20 prefer women 20 to 23. You understand what I'm saying? This is what you got to understand. So it's throughout their whole life. This is what we like. It remains the same. And so you can't be a 10 at 30, ladies. You're not a 10 at 30. All right. Most of y'all, it's just not there. Okay. Now, again, this data challenges, It challenges the norms that we've evolved here in this Western society we live in. And it's offensive to a lot of people. But it is what it is. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Y'all hit the number 1 button. This is Uncle D. Y'all make sure y'all do what you do. And I shall return shortly. Get the likes up, baby.
Oh, if she got her nipples pierced, got ass from here to here, then you know that she's a hoe. If she's on Instagram, her bio is an OnlyFans, she's out there selling that thing. See, I know you gon' trip finding out that your chick in Vegas drunk on the strip with no panties on. I know that you gon' say that your chick ain't that way. Miami, DR, Dubai, but you didn't go. Nigga, she's a hoe, hoe, hoe. And I think it's time, you know. Nigga, she's a hoe, hoe, hoe. And I think it's time, you know.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast. Welcome back. So we're talking about, we're reimposing beauty standards on modern women, because what's happened is modern women, American women have had no competition. Okay, they've had no competition. They basically, and this is across the board. Yeah, they might compete with each other here in the United States, but if they all decide to gain 40 or 50 pounds over what their mothers weighed back in the 1950s and 60s, they can do that, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So what we have to do as men is recognize that what we're looking at is not attractive. Women often say, well, why we don't have men like we used to have? Well, why don't we have the women that our fathers had? You see? And yeah, I get it. Weight is a problem, and it's a cruel world, but that still doesn't mean you have to be attracted to it. You don't have to try to change 10,000 years of evolutionary biology and psychology just to accommodate these modern day trends. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go deep into the academia. As a recap, basically what I explained to you all is as follows. I kind of set up a scale of what is a 1 to 10 based a physical beauty scale of what is a 1 to 10 using historical figures, using contemporary historical women, contemporary women. So you have a general idea. We talked about Cleopatra. We talked about Beyonce. We talked about Zendaya. We went all the way down to Lizzo and Viola Davis. You understand what I'm talking about? I think we even threw a Harriet Tubman up in there, okay? Because it's Black History Month. Hallelujah, hallelujah. But now I want to take the opportunity, and I also explain what men do when they're given their options. When they're sitting there swiping left and swiping right, they oftentimes choose women between the age of 20 and 23. This is across the world. Tens of millions of men selected this, and these dating websites pull this information, and they're telling you that men across the world between the ages of all ages, 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, are attracted to women between 20 and 23. This cuts across cultural lines. It cuts across religious lines, racial lines. So what does that tell you, fellas? If you're sitting up here lying to yourself, telling yourself you're attracted to some woman who's 45, either you've been brainwashed, you're lying to yourself, or if you really are attracted to a woman that old, even if you are 45, you're a weirdo, okay? Because you don't fall within the norm of what the rest of the men find attractive. Don't get mad at me, get mad at the studies. Don't get mad at me, get mad at the evolutionary science. Get mad at the psychology. Get mad at the sociology. It's not my fault. But until we stop allowing this society to brainwash us, then how can you don't even know what you really want as a man in a woman. How else? What more? I mean, my God, this woman is going to be all up on you, having your children, and you're taking society's advice for something as personal as what you're attracted to, they might as well tell you what you like to eat. No, you don't like fish. You go ahead and eat that pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray. That's what you like to eat. How weak are you as men? It is time for you to reimpose beauty standards on modern women and stop getting punked. So now, I'm going to give you the ammunition, all right? The psychological perspective of attractiveness ratings. It often revolves around certain universal traits perceived as indicators of health and fertility. Symmetry, for instance. This is seen as a sign of health, and people tend to find symmetrical faces more attractive. Some people got droopy faces. Some people got an eye to go up and the one to go down, right? That's not attractive, okay? You might find that ugly. Now, what about perceived health? Now, I say perceived health because somebody might, they might be beautiful on the outside, but they might have some horrible disease. So I say perceived health, such as clear skin without a whole bunch of blemishes on it, or physical fitness. They looking good, they're in great shape. They can influence attractiveness ratings. Okay? And these are signs of signals of robustness and reproductive capacity. Youthfulness. This is associated with fertility. You know why we like women between the ages of 20 and 23? Because during our evolutionary development, women from the age of 23 are typically old enough to be able to bear children without dying. You understand? Back in the day, the women died and the baby died during childbirth. A woman who's old and mature enough, between 20, her hips are spread, she's a grown woman, she's in her childbirthing years. So the perception, youthfulness as being associated with fertility plays a crucial role in attractiveness as well, okay? As well as with features like smooth skin and full lips, and that's being preferred. You don't want no wrinkly old woman. She got a wrinkly face, she got wrinkly eggs. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no wrinkly egg baby. They don't move fast enough. They get eaten by the saber-toothed tigers. That's when you want a healthy baby, okay? And again, these preferences, and I'm jokingly saying this, but these preferences are thought to have evolutionary roots. As they historically improve the chances of, number one, reproduction, and if you select a healthy partner. And these evolutionary perspectives, this evolutionary perspective, it suggests that such preferences might have helped choosing mates who are more likely to produce healthy offspring. And thereby what? You pass on your genes more effectively. Okay? It's grounded in the idea that certain universal traits are perceived as indicators. Again, we talked about symmetry. Okay? Facial symmetry. And this is something that's been observed across various cultures and age groups. Don't nobody like a droopy face person. Look, it is what it is. There was a study done by someone named Perret, or I believe his name, I'm looking at it. It was a 1999 study, Effects of Sexual Dimorphism on Facial Attractiveness. That study conducted, it demonstrated that individuals with symmetrical faces were consistently rated as more attractive. Period. Now again, perceived health. And I mentioned clear skin. I don't mean light skin. I don't mean dark skin. I mean you don't have a bunch of pock marks and blemishes all over your face. That's why women wear those concealers. That's why when you see a woman with that makeup on, that cake up, right? And then you see her with it off, you like, ooh, my God. That's because you reckon she didn't have clear skin. That's why they wear makeup. Because it makes them more attractive. It makes them look like they have clear skin because it's all the same color. It's not the color of it, but the fact that it's all even tone. That makes them more desirable to potential mates. That's why they wear it. That makeup, it signifies, it mimics what healthy skin might look like, especially in the dark. After you done drank a couple of cups of that brown, you in there partying, you know what I'm saying? You in there mumbling them mumble raps along with them mumble rappers, and you done had that brown and got that white in you. She looking good with all that makeup on. You know what I'm saying? You think, oh my gosh, she has great skin health. She could be a great producer of children and offspring for me, right? That's what you're thinking in the club, right? Yeah, oh my God, oh yeah. And then you get her back to that Holiday Inn, and you see her the next morning, and half her face is on the pillow, then wiped off on the pillow, and you see she in there looking like a damn Decepticon. See what I'm saying? People with clear skin are perceived as healthier and more attractive. Why do you think makeup is a multi-million-dollar, $1 billion business? It's a $1 billion business for that reason alone. They're playing on your evolutionary psychology. So don't tell me these major industries don't know what standard, what makes you tick as a man and what's perceived as beauty. They just want you to lessen your standards. They want you to lower your standards. And I shouldn't have to explain physical fitness. That signals robustness and reproductive capacity. You see what I mean? And the other thing is youthfulness is strongly associated with fertility, and it plays a vital role in attractiveness. The full lips. Full lips are associated with youth, as opposed to old shriveled up lips like that. Smooth skin and full lips. That's what you look for. And again, this is rooted in the idea that individuals, women with youthful traits, are more likely to have greater reproductive potential. Okay, evolutionary roots. So y'all with me? Don't get mad. Don't get mad at me. I don't care if you're mad anyway. But you know, these preferences are believed to have evolutionary roots from evolutionary psychology standpoint. It's theorized that our ancestors who exhibited preferences for symmetrical, healthy-looking, youthful features may have had a better chance of reproductive success. And selecting partners with these traits could have led to healthier offspring with improved chances of survival. Basically, people like that they seem to be healthy. It's some diseases associated with blotchy skin and lame bodies that don't move and faces that aren't symmetrical. Okay? So when you're passing these, these factors shape our judgments on attractiveness, and they have strong evolutionary underpinnings. And these preferences aren't purely subjective. This is not because of what society said. They're deeply rooted in our psychology. And they've been extensively studied in the field of psychology. So why are we lying to ourselves? Now, what about sociologically? These attractive ratings, the 1 through 10, they reflect the influence of culture, okay? Cultural standards and media portrayals of beauty. There was a time when we were attracted to big girls. Voluptuous, as they call it. Big girls were the thing. That had a lot to do with the movie and the media. The media said be attracted to big girls. That apparently goes against what our ancestors wanted. But when you have a media portrayal, or when you have these roles associated with sexiness, right? They're disseminating beauty and the package comes in a big girl. Then guess what? People will be more inclined to that. But you see, that didn't last very long, did it? because along came Twiggy and dude said, we want slender women again. So that was the outlier. People like to say, well, we used to be attracted to big girls. Yeah, that was the outlier. The norm is to be attracted to physically fit women who are young. Ain't that something? But different cultures do have distinct ideals of beauty, and that's influenced by historical, economic, and social factors. You see, there's different Western cultures may differ from Eastern cultures. Northern hemisphere cultures may differ from Southern hemisphere cultures. And I'm looking for one more super chat, by the way. One more super chat to get me to 20. Again, in the media, what's promoted in the media, and this reinforces these stereotypes. And that's what they're trying to do to you. They trying to convince you that Lizzo, who is a 1 to a 3 on an international scale, is a 10. That's what they're trying to convince you. You see? That's what they're trying to convince you. And y'all are like, nah, it ain't gonna happen. Now, let's talk about some evolutionary theories. Are y'all still with me? Hit the number 1 button if you're with me, baby. Hit the number 1 button if you're with me, baby. You're not gonna lie to yourself on here. I'm not gonna let you lie to yourself. I'm gonna tell you how it is. We are going to reframe and put you in perspective. Now, if you decide to go out and date who you want to date, you like them, whatever you like, that's on you. But you're not going to be able to convince us that that's what the rest of us should like. As men, you guys got to begin to stand up and say, no, this is what I like. Who I decide to be with is that is going to be my intimate partner, the mother of my children. You're not going to tell me what to like. Because once you hit the reality that you really don't like that, guess what? Now you're an unhappy camper. And you steady telling a woman you attracted to her and she 100 pounds heavier than you, you're not gonna be happy. You're gonna be out there cheating and she ain't gonna be happy either. Your sex life is gonna be crap, period. They was trying to convince y'all to date Transformers. Remember that before the passport bros popped up? Remember that? Remember they was trying to convince y'all that you're transphobic or something if you don't want to date a transformer? Remember that? And then the passport bros popped up and just shook the whole game up because they recognized you didn't have options. So they were going to tell you what you like. And this is why it's important for you brothers not to be so weak-minded. This is all men. You can't be so weak-minded that you let this society treat you like a sheep and tell you what you like. You like catfish, they trying to tell you to eat tilapia. You like sirloin, they trying to tell you to eat buffalo steaks. You like what you like, stand on that, fellas. You don't know what this sick, twisted world will have you doing until you begin to stand for something. Look, and it's something as simple as what kind of woman you like to look at. Darn it, come on, man. And some of y'all are so brainwashed, you're even looking at this and, well, I like me a big girl, man. I like me a girl about 250 pounds. Yeah, but that makes you weird. And the reason it makes you weird because it makes you an outlier. And you're an outlier because the rest of the men around the world, the tens of millions of men who took the time to swipe left or swipe right, the vast majority of them swiped on women who are between the ages of 20 and 23, who are physically fit, who had clear skin and the appearance of youth and full lips. So what does that say about you if you like a big old wide back with botchy skin and a bad attitude and a droopy face? That says you're a weirdo. And the truth is, brothers, and I'm gonna get back to my evolutionary theories in a minute. The truth is, most white men and men around the world think black men are weirdos. Why do you think that is? What's the common joke about black men? What do they say about our preferences? Huh? What do they say black men like? Huh? Huh? They saying you like fat girls. There was a joke by this comedian. He said if all the aliens came down to pick up black folks, all the black men left, there's going to be a bunch of white girls, fat white girls crying. You see what I'm saying? There was a radio show host back in the day. We are known across the planet for liking fat girls, not thick, fat. You understand me? Do y'all like fat girls, or is that something you settle with? Are you still one of those dudes trying to convince yourselves that you like fat women? Because that's what the fat women want you to like. This is a new occurrence. We didn't have this problem back in the 50s when the women were thin. This is something that popped up after 2005 when all these women became obese. And so they're trying to dictate to you what you like to accommodate them so they don't have to do anything to be more appealing. And they feel like there's nothing you can do about it because you're a captive audience. And then up pop the passport bros. And they threw they messed up this lock that the lovely ladies had. Same thing for the white guys. The white women said, well, you can't go anywhere anyway. And they start heading off to the Philippines and Thailand. Look what these guys are doing in Norway and Amsterdam, up that way. They got so many Thai women coming to Norway. They're trying to stop those men from bringing women from Thailand. But anyway, let's get back to the subject. So the evolutionary theory suggests that certain physical traits have historically been preferred because they're associated with health and reproductive capability. Now, what I want you guys to understand is that whether we're talking about psychology, sociology, or evolutionary biology, these same traits keep popping up. Symmetry, clear skin, they're indicators of good health. Both psychologically and as far as ever, we've evolved to this. This is what we look for in potential mates. We deem them to have good genes, free of disease, likely to be able to produce offspring. You see? These people with these sort of traits, when we see these type of women, they've evolved to increase chances of reproductive success and survival of offspring. The reason that a woman who is 40 is more attracted to a man who's slightly 43 because she ain't talking about, she don't need to reproduce. She doesn't need to reproduce anymore. And she's getting a man at his highest earning potential between 35 and 55. So she's getting the best of us. She's getting the man at his richest, his most calmest, his most easiest to manage. The testosterone level drops about 40. He's not out there as bad as he used to be. So she can manage him. That's why it stops right at that age. Find that amazing. That's why women's preferences start right at that age for men who are slightly older than them. But either way, these theories, these evolutionary theories, they suggest that human perceptions of attractiveness are influenced by traits associated with health and reproductive capability. Okay? So this is what you're attracted to women that you perceive to be healthy and have a high reproductive capability. This is where attraction comes from. There's a hard line. You can't get around it. Symmetry and genetic health, there's a correlation. Again, symmetry in facial body features is rooted in the idea that symmetry is a sign of good genetic health. It indicates that a person has fewer genetic mutations and is more likely to reproduce healthy offspring. Someone who has clear skin. What does that say? What is clear? What do you see when you see somebody with some patches all over them? He's like, oh, they sick. They look sick. So clear, healthy skin is perceived as attractive because it's a signal that this person is resistant to diseases and infections. The reason you call people with all them pimples on their face and stuff, pussy, all that, that's ugly. It's just a pimple, but it's ugly to you because it's a sign of disease and infection. You got pus oozing out their mouth. That's why you got the tendency, you want to get rid of them pimples. You understand? In ancestral environments, 10,000 years ago, when we lived on those plains in groups of 150, individuals with healthy skin were more likely to survive and reproduce successfully. That's in Fink. That's a study by Thornhill from 2001. It's entitled Human Homo Sapiens Facial Attractiveness in Relation to Skin Texture and Color. And it's in the Journal of Comparative Psychology. Okay? Not making this up. What about reproductive capacity? Well, features associated with youthfulness, such as smooth skin, full lips, are considered attractive because they're linked to reproductive capacity. Youthful traits are often associated with higher fertility. And that increases the chance of successful reproduction. A 40-year-old woman is not going to be able to have, you meet a 40-year-old, you meet a 20-year-old. This 20-year-old, over the time and duration in which you are with this woman, is going to be able to have more children than a 40-year-old woman. That 40-year-old woman might be lucky to pop out one, maybe two. But a 20-year-old, she can have kids for the next 20 years. So clearly, she has a higher capacity for fertility. I mean, throughout human history, individuals who were attracted to mates with indicators of good health and reproductive potential had a higher likelihood of passing on their genes to the next generation. And that contributed to the perpetuation of these preferences. I mean, I'm just saying. And if you want to go biblical, what was the first thing? To be fruitful and multiply. Isn't that what that was the commandment that God gave to Adam and Eve? You got one job, and it's wired into your DNA. See, your mating choices, evolutionary theories emphasize that these preferences influence your mating choices. Individuals are going to be more likely to be attracted to a partner who displays health-related traits. Because that's believed to do what? Higher likelihood of success and production. So you're attracted to, so basically what I'm saying, fam, okay? You're attracted to these women between the ages of 20 and 23, most men across the planet, because you perceive them to be healthier and more fertile and able to help you bring children into this world who are healthy. So again, let's recap. Are y'all with me? Y'all with? Let me know if you're with me, baby. Let me put this Cash App down here. Let me know if you guys are with me. Are y'all with me? Do you like the idea of me giving advice about relationships? Because again, we need to reimpose that. What's the point of me telling y'all to get in a relationship if you go out there and get you a wide back because society told you that this is what you're supposed to be, a 42-year-old wide back that you're not really attracted to. And then you looking on the internet, you looking on Instagram at all these dudes out there having a blast in Brazil and Thailand, dealing with these young, beautiful, fertile women, and now you mad. You looking at that old battle axe sitting over there on the couch watching Housewives of Atlanta reruns, and you mad because you didn't get what you supposed to get. That ain't what I want for you. At least if that's what you choose, don't lie to yourself about it, and don't allow yourself to continue to be in that bubble where you're being brainwashed. At least accept the truth of it. That's all I want you to do. If you decide, brother, if you're a 40, 50-year-old man and you want to find a woman who's close to your age, look, hand clap. I support you 100%. But don't lie to yourself and tell yourself that this woman is the most attractive woman in the world. She's not. She knows she's not. the rest of the men on the planet say women between the ages of 20 and 23, and they've tens of millions of people, tens of millions of men have determined that that's the most attractive on the planet. That's the age group. And we talked earlier about the look. I gave you a list. I told you what a 10 was all the way down to a 1. That's if they don't look like a Dorothy Dandridge, it's not a 9. If it ain't a Beyonce or a Kelly Rowland, that's not an 8. You understand me? Period. If you got a Viola Davis, stop lying to us and telling us she looked like Cleopatra. We all know you're lying to yourself and you look stupid. Just cut it out. But again, what we did in this discussion is we addressed a prevalent topic about the female rating system that they've told you is bad. You're objectifying women. So what? That's how we determine. We look at you objectively to determine if you are physically fit to give birth to children based on your age and your possible fertility and your symmetry in your face. I can guarantee you that based on psychology, sociology, and evolutionary biology, that if you looked at Cleopatra between the ages of 20 and 23, or whenever, however she was, when she seduced the first one of those Roman leaders, she had full lips, clear skin, her body was symmetrical, and she was young, along with all those other attributes. Because they call her astonishingly beautiful. So yeah, that's what it is. I can guarantee you, if you're partying with a woman who has a bunch of makeup on and her you can't tell, and her face looks clear and smooth, and then you see her the next morning after that alcohol wear off, and she's taking all that makeup off, and her face is blotchy and spots on it, you're not going to be as attracted to that woman. Now, you can fool yourself into thinking she is, but if she got spots all over her face and divots and dark marks under, you're not going to be as attracted to that woman. Because you're looking at her and you say, oh, in your mind, in that evolutionary brain of yours, your ancestors are saying, sick, genetic defects, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to say you're not going to be as attracted. Again, beauty, or the perception of beauty, is closely linked to physical fitness and fertility in youth. And the rating system, whether you like it or not, it is categorized into different levels from perfect 10s to lower ratings. And each one of those represent varying degrees of attractiveness. And the discussion, I just want to provide an academic style understanding of why these preferences exist. Again, what did I say? Men prefer women between 20 and 23. That's just a reality. Men across different age groups from 20s to the 50s consistently prefer women in their early 20s, and particularly between the age of 20 and 23. And if you don't, that means you're a weirdo. Because the rest of the 4 billion men on the planet prefer women between the 20 and 23. How do I know? Because they did a study and they analyzed the data from tens of millions of men. So what does that tell you? That's awkward, huh? Because now you 45 years old and you got to go tell people, well, I only like women between the ages of 20 and 23. Oh my God, you a cradle robber. You might as well go hang out at the local junior college or high school. No, that's what the rest of the 4 billion men on the planet like. Men who like old women are weirdos. That's what people would tell you if you go overseas. They'll tell you, yeah, you like what? You somewhere in Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia or down there in Africa somewhere where people are keeping it real. They ain't got no TV and no social media. And you telling them you came all the way out here to get one of their 45-year-old grandmas. They're going to say, you are a weirdo, bro. We got all these 20 and 23-year-olds, and you came way over here to get one of these old bras, these grandmas damn near to be great grandmas, they're going to look at you like a weirdo. Only in America. And that's another thing you got to understand. In normal cultures, women who are in their 40s, they're grandmas. Just because our grandmas are still hanging out at the club, that don't mean they're not grandmas or grandma age. Keep it 100. Now, by contrast, women tend to prefer men who are close to their own age when they get older. They just want them a little older. This is the same data. The women who were swiping left and swiping right, they swiped right on men who were a little older. And this clearly suggests a disconnect between what men prefer, i.e. younger women, and what women prefer, i.e. men with similar ages. But that's because what? Because men are not women with penises. We are different. We are different. And you guys got to begin to push back. You got to reimpose these beauty standards on modern women and not let them push you in the corner and convince you that you like something that you don't like. Ladies and gentlemen, our discussion is complex, and it was contentious on the topic of beauty standards and the female rating system. And so it's imperative to reflect on the vast array of perspectives we explored in this broadcast. We talked about it from the psychological to the sociological to the evolutionary. And our journey has been one of deep introspection and critical analysis of what drives our perceptions of attractiveness and how these perceptions influence our behavior and societal norms. We delved into the intricacies of the rating system, 1 to 10, and we acknowledged in its prevalence in our culture while also recognizing the inherent biases and limitations. But it's clear that beauty standards, they are what they are. They're deeply influenced by psychology, evolutionary biology, and sociological reasons. The psychological underpinnings we discussed highlight the universal traits deemed attractive across cultures, rooted in evolutionary preferences for health, fertility, and genetic reasons. These preferences, while biological in nature, are significantly modulated by our societal constructs and media's portrayals, leading to what is beneficial for them. Yeah, I know it doesn't reflect the beauty in the human population, the diversity of beauty. Yeah, I know. We don't typically categorize somebody like Viola Davis as beautiful, because that's not what we were wired to do. And you can be mad at it, but that's just like being mad at that mountain over there that's by your house. It is what it is. And you're not going to win against biology. I don't care how many TV shows and how many magazines come out and try to tell you that something that you're not attracted to on a biological evolutionary level is attractive. You're still not going to be attracted to it. Now, the sociological perspective expands on how cultural standards and media influence our shape or perceptions. Okay? Again, I mentioned the fact that maybe 100 years ago, we were attracted to robustly fat women. There was a time when you can go to these traveling circuses and be attracted to a big girl. That's what they were pushing. But you see how we came back to being attracted to women who are fit, slender, and beautiful, or fit and beautiful, as opposed to those who are robust. Now, the evolutionary theories we discussed provide a foundational understanding of why certain physical traits are preferred, emphasizing the role of health, number one, and reproductive capability in shaping our perceptions of attractiveness. The reason you're attracted to a woman who's between the ages of 20 and 23 is because of her perceived health and her perceived reproductive capability. And you're not going to get over that. You're not going to get over that. Again, as we've seen, the preference data from studies, such as those discussed in the articles that I showed you from YouBeauty, that they got from OkCupid and those other dating sites, highlights a stark contrast in gender perspectives on age and attractiveness. And it reveals societal pressures and expectations that disproportionately affect women. And that's unfortunate, but that's life. It is what it is. It's not supposed to be fair. It's supposed to be life. You're not going to get an advantage in every situation. And I don't care how many times you try to convince men that they should like something they like. If they don't like it, they don't like it. And you're going to get what you have now. Men saying, I'm out. And that's about all I got to say. Shout out to the Passport Bros. Shout out to everybody who came through. I want to take the time to thank everybody who contribute to the Cash App, the Super Chat, and the PayPal. And so we'll do that right now. We got 22 people over here. Let me see. 22 contributors. So I want to give a big shout out. Let's start down here. Big shout out to my man, Cody Marshall. He said, happy early Mardi Gras to you, Uncle D. Well, you know what? First, let me do my Cash App, folks, man. Cash App is light tonight, but that's all right. Big shout out to Bella Rings. Thank you so much for the $2 on the Cash App. And who else we got up here? My man, like I said, Cody Marshall, big shout out to you. Happy Mardi Gras to you. My man, Vincent Robinson, got you, bro. Thank you so much, fam. Mrs. Crow Tichetti, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Jerome Payne, Uncle D, snatching D's iron dreams of being 10. Yeah, man. Everybody's a 10. I'm a 10. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not a 10. Over here, lying to folks, trying to punk us into, no, you're not. Cut it out. Okay, cut it out. Out here looking like Soldier the Truth. Talking about you a 10. She wasn't known for beauty. And beauty is not the only reason that men marry women. That's another. I should have hit that point too. Now see, look, man, you love who you love. If your woman ain't that cute, I'm cool with that too, man, as long as you happy. My problem is them trying to tell us, trying to impose upon us what they want to impose upon us. Something as basic as what you're attracted to. That seems like a violation of your rights to autonomy. Shout out to MC Recovery Relapse, Dennis at Fox Hills Mall, Slauson, Swap Meet, South Central LA. We have some fine, pretty dumb women. I wouldn't put a ring on it. You cold-blooded. Shout out to Cody Marsh, the great southern blonde-haired, wide back. Ooh, Meridioniola Wade retro is a common species. I can't even say that. Is a common species of animal kingdom that twerks for fried chicken. Oh, Lord, yes, sir. Shout out to Isaac 80474, another super chat. I think my other channel is blocked. Oh, that's terrible, man. Well, welcome. King, why are you putting accolades, achievements, and other things that don't matter to looks the part? Because it's not just, look, man, there are some women, and we were talking about the accolades of some other women, like, because see, brother, you might like a woman because she's spicy, man. You know what I'm saying? You like her because she out there, man. You know what I'm saying? She out there doing it. She got the right kind of haircut. She's smart. She know how to talk to you. That can make a 7 go to at least like a 7.5. It can make a 9 go to a 10. There probably wasn't that much difference between a Cleopatra and one of these Colombian, Venezuelan model types. You see what I'm saying? Or what's the sister's name? Darn, I keep forget. Man, I can't believe I forgot the sister's name. I mentioned her name in the broadcast. Darn it. I mentioned her as a 9. I forget the sister's name, but some of those, man, y'all gonna make. It's not, if you take a beautiful woman right now, okay, it's probably not that much difference between her, and I'm talking about a woman who's a strong 9. And I was gonna pull up this one sister that we all like to look at. She would have been Dorothy Dandridge. It's probably not that much difference between a Dorothy Dandridge, a Halle Berry, and a Cleopatra, other than Cleopatra had it going on. You see what I'm saying? She was intelligent, she was smart, she knew how to move. You see what I mean? So you can't just look at beauty in isolation like that. You understand what I'm saying? And as you mature, you'll understand maybe a little bit more what I'm saying. But Greg Lisman Jr., appreciate your wisdom, Uncle D. No problem, man. I appreciate you, brother. Arrowhead 5 for the lie. Hey, you rapping, you got bars. Anyway, my man, Johnny Harris, thank you so much. Melanated FTM, salute Uncle D and his martial arts family. Yeah, man, shout out to my fiance for winning the gold medal at the jiu-jitsu tournament, man. She went in there, rolled the girl up real tough. Now we just got to work on she got the movement down. We got to work on the chokes and the submissions and stuff like that. But she tried an arm bar, and she didn't have but 10 seconds left, up by 14 points. I'm like, damn, you's a killer. I said, that's what I'm talking about. So thank you so much, man. Your excellent sir for the Blizzard King. Winner is here. Mad love. Yeah, man, no problem, brother. Thank you. Boris Barracuda, thank you so much. Jerome Payne, The Wall coming. Salute, Uncle D. Thank you so much, man. Well, Simple Shit TV, man. Give me a call tomorrow, man. Make sure you call my office, 713-229-0770, so we can get you signed up for this lawsuit against our favorite social media platform. Big shout out to Zay Story Show. Happy to be here on Peace and Blessings. Thank you so much. The shareholder, $10. Mr. 43TX, support Black Male Media. Good looking out, fellas. Urban Eagle, big shout out to you. Mark, the freelancer, big shout out to you. And the first one up, Woo Woo, international correspondent. Thank you so much, fellas. And look, I've said all I had to say, man. I think this is enough to marinate on. I'm going to start talking to you brothers about relationships, and we can't really talk about relationships until we can establish that you're okay with liking what you like. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, that seems basic, but damn, you know what I mean? It's like saying, well, we about to go shopping. We about to go get something to eat. And I'm telling you, and you telling me, well, yeah, man, I want to get, I think I want some chicken, but I'm allergic to chicken. And I really don't like chicken. I'm like, well, let's go get something else then. Let's get what you want. But that's what I'm supposed to like. I'm supposed to like, bro, let's get what you want. So I got to get y'all to the point where you will accept yourself for who you are and what you like. And you got to be strong enough to resist against what this society is trying to do to you. And that's brainwash you into liking what's convenient for you. You're being brainwashed, fellas. And that's just straight up all it is to it. You're being brainwashed. And if it wasn't for the passport bros going overseas, we wouldn't have any leverage. These women would be, man, this society was trying to convince y'all that there was something wrong with you if you didn't want to go date one of these Decepticons out here. Remember that? I mentioned that earlier. And see, when the passport bros popped up, all of that went to the wash. You know what I mean? They was like, oh my God, they got options now. Somebody type options in the chat room. That's what happened. Passport bros threw a wrench in the game. Passport bros leveled the table. It is, and I've told you guys, it is a phenomenon. It is a cultural shift. It is permanently changed the dating relationship game in the United States. Period. It is basically they had a one mom and pop store in the neighborhood, and now they just dropped a super Walmart, a Target, a Costco within walking distance. That's basically what happened. And so the mom and pop is like, oh my God, I got to step my game up, I'm gonna get put out of business. That mom and pop was that was Black American women. And you Black American men were the shoppers. You ain't had nothing in there but that old rotten fruit with them flies on it, and that refrigerator that wasn't properly cold enough. Everything in there is lukewarm. And they was like, well, either you're gonna eat it or you're not gonna eat. That's basically what they told y'all. You're gonna eat what we got or you're not gonna eat. You're gonna starve. You gonna starve? Huh? You gonna pick one up? That's basically what they said. And then lo and behold, the Walton family put a Walmart. What? And then they put a Target. And then their Costco, Super Costco popped up. You understand what I'm saying? And so now that's what Passport Bros did to the dating game here in America. You can bounce. And so eventually what's going to happen is, so now Black women are at a point where they got to compete. The problem is some of you brothers still don't know what you like. You're still suffering from that brainwashing. Now, again, my preference for you men is to always choose women of your ethnicity. If you're a white man, I want you to get a woman of European descent. If you're a Black man, get you a woman of African descent. If you're an Asian man, get you a woman of Asian descent. That's my preference for you all. Whatever, that's my preference, because it makes life a lot easier, and it's a lot easier on the children. You understand what I'm saying? But if you love her, I'm going to support you 100%. She good to you. She treats you right. Man, you love the woman that treats you the best and brings you peace of mind and happiness. But again, my preference is for people to stay within their own ethnicity, because you should love your ethnicity. You should love your race. You should love that. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. I'm not going to impose my will upon you. I'm not one of these blackety blacks. But yeah, of course you would want your grandchildren to look like you. Of course you would. You understand? But don't forsake your own peace of mind and happiness to try to be with somebody that's not a match just because of the color of their skin. Then your life is going to be hell. You see? So my suggestion to you is go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. You can't find a woman of African descent in this whole big old world, well, then that's fine. You do what you do. You do what's best for you, and I'm going to be happy for you. But the bottom line is, you've got to begin. There's some basic things involved. Accept what you like. Accept yourself for who you are. You see what I mean? Don't let these people lie to you and tell you, you shouldn't be attracted to a woman who's between the ages of 20 and 23. She's too old for you. You 35, 45 years old. You 50 years old. Well, that's what I'm attracted to. That don't mean that's what I necessarily got to marry, but that's what I'm attracted to. You understand the difference? Don't lie to yourself about it. Period. That's like being a damn crackhead and trying to lie to yourself and tell you that ain't what you like, and you know you do. You understand? That's like being a fat dude and like, man, I love cake, and trying to lie to yourself and tell you don't like it. You got 3 or 4 cakes in the refrigerator. You're lying to yourself. Let's at least be honest with ourselves, brothers. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. The first part of knowing yourself is to be honest with yourself. That truth, come on, let me get on somebody type amen in the chat room. Let me turn the music down. That truth shall set you free. And see, then you know where you are. You can't know where you are. You can't find you can't become, if you're lost and you don't know where you are, you're going to stay lost. The first thing to determine when you get that map in your hand is determine where you are on that map. And then you can find your way to civilization. Accept the fact that you like what you like, supported by the fact that that's how human beings have evolved over the past hundreds of thousands of years. And even right now, the other 4 billion men on this planet like the same age group of women with the same qualities that you like. And that is between the ages of 20 and 23. Tens of millions of men the data was examined, and that's what they like. So there's nothing wrong with you. So if you like something other than that, that means you're an outlier. If you like something other than that, you're a 40-year-old man and you like 50-year-old women, you're an outlier. You understand? If that's what you truly like, cool, but you're an outlier. You're a weirdo. Period. But I digress. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate This has been a wonderful broadcast. I appreciate y'all. We can chop it up about it in the comment section. I hope you all appreciate my take on relationships. This is just another building block. Again, I got good outcomes, and I want you all to have those outcomes. But other than that, man, I appreciate y'all. This is Uncle D, and as always said this time, I'm out.